Now, my first video on here was about the next Mario Kart game's retro tracks, and I figured I'd hash out my predictions for the rest of the track list. Disclaimer, I initially wrote this script before the Switch 2 was revealed, so while I did change some things in light of the trailer, I haven't thought about all the implications. So, without further ado, here are my new Mario Kart track concepts. First up, the Mushroom Cup. Hey, that rhymed. I'm guessing that the first track of the Mushroom Cup will be Mario Bros. Circuit, which is shown in the trailer. I'm counting it as this game's Mario Circuit. I know the tradition is for Mario Circuit not to be the game's opener, but it would only make sense for the initial trailer to show the first track. And while we did see some occasional obstacles, I think new players can figure it out. In my opinion, separating the opener track and Mario Circuit just leads the games to have 2 guaranteed boring circuit tracks instead of 1. Now as for what the track features, you've seen it already. Let's move on to some more interesting ideas. Now I realize it sounds like I'm saying my ideas are more interesting than Nintendo's, which they are. So, let's, yeah. Princess Peach not only has a castle, but a summer villa on Isle Delfino as well. Such are the excesses of the monarchy. The second track of the Mushroom Cup is Peach Palace, something of a successor to Peach Beach. Race into the seaside palace and up the spiral staircase, glide into Peach's tropical gardens, then zoom down the beach and avoid occasional cataquacks as a crowd of piantas cheers you on. Next up is Sand Kingdom from Mario Odyssey. This game needed an interesting way to do a desert track, and, well, the ways to do that are running out. Mario Kart 8 had to go with its sunset and also bones. And that counts for something, but it still made one of the blandest tracks in all of 8. Well, anyway, in this track, start the race in Toast Arena Town, zip through the Jaxie Ruins Gate and around some ruins, then chart a course through the maze of paths in the dunes near the inverted pyramid. The last track of the Mushroom Cup is the Goomba Lagoon. This and Peach Palace are the game's main beach tracks. Anyway, this is based on the board from Super Mario Party Jamboree, and it maintains the main gimmick by having the water level rise on lap 3, changing the beach sections to underwater ones where the optimal lines are different. Start on grassy rocks, then drive onto the beach where you must avoid Hucket crabs and volleyballing Goombas, then go into anti-gravity to drive on the Goomba-shaped volcano, making sure to avoid lava. Jump from a short dock into the water, passing a shipwreck infested by fish bones, drive up a cliff in anti-gravity, and cross the finish line. Upstream from Koopa Cape is a deep, eroded chasm, still controlled by Koopa forces. I don't know how much longer we can last in these trenches. If the rain doesn't break us, the Bob-omb artillery soon will. The first track of the Flower Cup is Koopa Canyon. Start in a Koopa Troopa town, glide over the canyon twice, avoiding paratroopas the whole way, then drive down the canyon wall in anti-gravity, race through the river, then head back up the canyon wall to the finish. One of my favorite underrated tropes to theme something after is American national parks. Think Yogi Bear Show or California Adventure's Grizzly Peak Land. Anyway, Wild Wild Valley is a Mario Kart track based on this theme, with some more inspiration from the Mario Kart Wii custom track Shy Guy Lumber Company. You start in a big lodge full of cheering Shy Guys, jump down to a gorgeous vista of the valley inspired by the Yosemite Valley. You have a field of rocks to trick off of, then turn to a grove of enormous trees to dodge. Drive off a cliff in anti-grav, then race across an open grassy field full of geysers. Finally, race through a more normal forest full of Shy Guys in trees and with small rivers to cross several times. Then drive through the finish line on the ground floor of the lodge. I'm shocked there hasn't been an actual roller coaster themed track in Mario Kart yet. Sure, there's Baby Park and Water Park, but my idea's better. The third course of my Flower Cup is Waluigi Roller Coaster, a fully anti-gravity course. Expect loops, barrel rolls, overbanked turns, the works. The main gameplay gimmick is that the middle of the track has lots of boost panels and coins, but it regularly has coaster cars zipping through and taking out anyone in the way. The final track of the Flower Cup is Luigi Stadium. Bumps, jumps, crushed cars to drive on, mushroom shortcuts through mud. Yeah, it's a pretty standard stadium track, all things considered. The new and exciting thing about it, besides the subtle Luigi's Mansion theming, is that at the end of every lap, extra green Shy Guys on dirt bikes are dropped onto the track to race with you. By the end, the race will be super chaotic, it being jam-packed with extra racers to bump into and items bouncing around. By the way, the names of the 4 tracks of the Flower Cup, Koopa Canyon, Wild Wild Valley, Waluigi Roller Coaster, and Luigi Stadium are a sneaky reference to something. 10 points if you can name what it is in the comments. Full honesty here, Chain Chomp Railroad is mostly on this list because of the pun. Yes, this first course of the Star Cup is all about the train chomps chasing you wherever you go. This is a one-lap track where you start out in a small frontier town built around a train chomp depot, then race through grassy plains littered with Monty moles and bison for the first section. The second section winds through switchbacks as you follow the tracks through a mountain pass, then glide above the rails as you approach the third section, a big industrial coastal city. There are several paths to take through this area, and most of them have lots of train crossings to watch out for. Finish the race by jumping onto a big steamship in the harbor. Next up is Mushroom Speedway. Now I know I said that circuit tracks were boring, but this one's got mushrooms. Well, in all honesty, I thought it would be cool to have a really difficult circuit track, so the turns are tight, the roads are narrow. And yeah, there are mushrooms to bounce on. Donkey Kong tracks based on Donkey Kong Country are a series staple. Well, also snowy DK tracks before Tropical Freeze even came out for some reason, but regardless, figure we could be a bit more unique and do a new Donkey Kong Country themed water track, DK Swamp. Now, I haven't actually played the classic Donkey Kong Country games, so I don't really know about what references specifically to put in, but I would have it mostly based off of Donkey Kong Country 2's Krem Key world, starting out on a ship, going underwater for most of the level, having a section completely overrun with brambles you must avoid, that kind of thing. Most Mario Kart games have a traffic track, from Toad's Turnpike to Toad's Turnpike. Some others in the middle there too. They also usually have an ice level, and I figure it could be really cool to knock both of those out right here with Ice Cream Interstate. Maybe it would need a different name in PAL regions? Comment any interstate-free suggestions, please. No, it's not just a sequel to Sky High Sundae. It is an ice track, in the same way that Sherbet Land is just an ice track, not a sherbet-themed track. Although there will be some ice cream mountains in the background. Anyway, the layout's fairly standard. You start on some highway chicanes with traffic on the road. Since it's the last Star Cup track, the traffic's pretty heavy. Also, the cars' patterns are randomized outside of time trials, so nutjob players can't memorize their patterns. Anyway, the smaller highway merges onto a much larger many-lane straightaway with item boxes littered about, which then veers off to the side as racers are forced to take a detour off the beaten path. The road now gets a slick texture as you have to weave through a narrow road around forested hills, sliding Koopas, and ice fishing Shy Guys. You finally get back on the highway and finish the lap. On lap 3, an ice cream avalanche has blocked the road, and you must now weave around the thick, slow-moving traffic jam instead of the sparser, faster traffic from earlier. Starting off the Special Cup is the Fungi Mines, closely based off of the world from Mario Wonder. The main difference is that more actual mining is taking place. Start off in a cave full of giant glowing mushrooms being harvested by poplins. Avoid minecarts a la Wario's Gold Mine, and then dive into some ancient ruins full of various Wonder enemies, especially conks and goombrats. You then drive through a brief ruined opera house full of boos singing along with the track's music, with the lead role being taken by Behemoth since King Boo is playable. Then go into anti-gravity, driving up a chasm until you return to the mushroom mining area to begin the next lap. This track may or may not be ripping off t/Cryovolcano, a custom Mario Kart Wii track, but well, I think the concept is awesome, so here is Frostbite Volcano, a volcano that somehow spews ice instead of lava. Race around the snowy base of the volcano, going in anti-gravity to drive on the mountainside and avoiding various ice enemies, then drive through the treacherous frozen heart of the mountain, before driving out and through a forest to the finish. However, on the third lap the volcano erupts, coating everything with ice and converting the whole track, including the previously off-road sections, into slippery road. At this point, penguins start sliding down the icy mountainside while the enemies that were previous there are now frozen in place. Maybe it's not right to have two Wonder-based tracks in the same cup, but darn it, I want this game's Bowser Castle to be based off of Super Mario Wonder. It's an evil green and black castle floating in the sky, and the start of the track is an area crisscrossed by bullet bill variants, then a narrow path skirting the exterior of the castle, as you see towers rhythmically shifting up and down. You must time your entry back into the tower with the movement, as the doors move as well, and you could end up careening into a wall. You drive up the inside wall of the tower in anti-grav as the electric zappers turn on and off, shrinking anyone caught in them. You then have to drive through the inner workings of the castle, navigating across rotating gears and shafts, and moving chains and pistons. Then teeter just above green lava on a narrow downward sloping road without guardrails as fiery Bowser fists crush unsuspecting racers. There's then a large corridor with a big Bowser statue shooting fireballs, which is quickly destroyed by a massive rolling spiky ball that racers must avoid. The balls keep rolling, but the racers continue on to a giant glider ramp out a castle window. The exterior is crisscrossed by pipes, which you must avoid on top of the fiery piranha plant nodes that Wonder Bowser is launching at you from his rock stage. When you land on the stage, the race is over. Yeah, if you couldn't tell from the amount of stuff in this level, it is a single lap track. Bam, that's the final boss. Looks like we're done with the video. Wait, shoot, I forgot about Rainbow Road. Okay, well, here's the deal. I can't honestly say that I'm the biggest Rainbow Road fan out there, and I don't have a big overarching idea, but here's some concepts to throw in. First off, the whole track's in anti-gravity. It's in space, it better be. The Rainbow Thwomps come back because they're rad. It's a 2-lap track with very few guardrails. There's a section where you go through a corkscrew barrel roll thing, and then a cannon shoots you through the middle of the bit you just did. There's a train going on the side of the track again, but instead of an old-timey steam model, it's like a newer electric passenger train. Yeah, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to see more like this. Bye.